I posted a video before I disappeared that I deleted my Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok and every single thing. So it's not that I wasn't online, but I was just relaxing, resting, taking a time for myself. I didn't plan for it to go that long. You know what I mean? I thought like 2 months, 3 months. It went too far. But I'm back. When I had time, I wasn't recording anything. I end up reading a lot of books, and I read books that I read before, like 1 year, 2 years ago. And if you watch like my first video, or one of the first videos that I uploaded, I think it was my first video where I told the story of how I got into reading. And I think 2024 was the year that I read the most. And not just amount of books, but like variety of books. I read books that like romantasy was like romance and fantasy. I learned that like a few months ago. I read epic fantasy. Some people call it high fantasy. It's a little bit of like scientific and fiction, a little bit of a mix of those things. I read dark romance. I tried to read a little bit of dark academia. So it's like I tried a lot of things and I like it. It was a year that's like I got to the point where now I can define a little bit of what I like to read and what I don't like, what I want to discover. Because dark romance was one of my main goals in 2024 because I never read it. And then, you'll hear certain stories about heat days, about that. Some of the books that I read, it was really dark. It was like, wow, if you're not okay. If you're not okay, you won't like it and you will end up feeling traumatized. But it was good, it went well, and I like it. So this year, I also want to read those type of books. And I want suggestions because, sometimes you hear these things here, sometimes you hear that thing there. You don't know if you're going to like it or not. Some of the books, I tried to read some and it was like, it wasn't a big thing. And I don't think it's the story. I have a really hard time like letting go of books because sometimes I'm like, it's not the story, it's the author, it's the way you're writing it. It's not appealing. It have to be appealing. So for that reason, I prepared a few books, a list of 10 books that my favorite books, one of my favorites. It was really hard, and I'm not gonna say the list like by order because it's not the same genre. It's like we'll have romance, we'll have dark romance, we'll have fantasy. So it's like which one we're gonna choose. We're not gonna choose like based on that. I'm just gonna say what I like and what I didn't like. Um, it it was interesting. Number one, it's not number one. One one of the books, Red Rising, the Red Rising saga. I would say it's one of my favorite. I would say like, okay, let's make a top 10. It's in there. If it's the first, it's the second, the third, we don't know, but it's in there. It was so good. I devoured like those 3 books. I know there's more, but I'm not gonna read it. Just those 3 books because I think I liked where I stopped. Well, no, where the story took me. I'm like, more than this, I don't want it. But it's a good series. The story was good. The writing was good. The characters development was like, it was amazing. I recommend this book to anyone and everyone. But I think you have to like this type of books for you to read it. I'm not gonna get into details because we have too much books to talk about. But look after it, and I might talk about each of these books later, like do a video talking about each of the books because sometimes I yap too much. So sometimes I have too much to say. Another one is Bride by, if I'm saying her name wrong, I don't think I can say it wrong, but by Ali Hazelwood. Oh, my hair. Don't, don't. Because when you go to places, you don't come back. Um, funny. But it's true. I love this book, and I think I will read it again, just because, this year, like we're in February. I cannot say anymore. We're the second month of the year, and I still didn't finish a book. I finished just one book. That's really sad, yeah. Wow. I'm too lazy. But this book, it was really good. I might read it again just because I loved it. It was a story that I'm used to it, but it was fresh and refresh. Another one is The Shepherd King, The Do It. It's I don't know if I can put it like dark academia. It's not, but it's, let's go with dark romance, but I don't feel like it's dark romance. You know what I mean? But it was just good. I love, like, I think it's one of the best sequel. The second book is one of the best sequel. Like the way the story followed, like it was just well done. It could be better. There's always space for like improvement and changes, but it was so good, so good. It was good. What a way of describing a book. But I don't know. It's really hard sometimes to just be like, explain how good you like something. It's like, it's easier to explain what I don't like than what I like. Your brain like cannot like select the adjectives to describe how much you like one thing. I read a lot of books, but I cannot talk like an author. This is one of my goals for this year. Talk like an author. Just grab one little moment and then make a whole essay about it with fancy words. Yeah. The Pope War. I didn't read all the books. I just read the first one. It was really good, but I ended up spoiling myself because I'm too nosy, and I end up not reading the others. But even sometimes, look, I read a lot of books and I spoil myself a lot, but I keep reading it. I didn't read it because one, I spoiled myself. Two, the books are too big. Three, the way it was written, and I think it was one of the books. I think it was the first or one of the first books that I read in the. If you watch any of my older videos, you would say like I hated last year. I hated books in third person, and now I love it in the third person POV. And now I love it, and most of the books that I read now is in the third person, and I'm like, we came a long way. Yes, we did. And here we are. I didn't read the others because it was in third person. I spoiled myself. But now I'm like, I'm reading books in third person. Now, look, I'm biting my tongue like all the time. Um, but it was really good. One of my favorite. Yeah. It was really, really good. It was confusing, but good. The next one, it is dun 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 dun. Does It Hurt? It was the first dark romance book that I ever read, and I loved it. It was really good. It was really, we could see passion there. We could see more passion and you don't know what's going on in my head. It's like I don't know how to speak. I think it was like passion, say passion. It's like passion. Say passion again. Yeah, passion. I'm passion. Period. Yo, no, but it was it wasn't traumatizing. I think it was the best way that I could ever get introduced to the genre, knowing the amount and the types of dark romance that we have out there. So it was good. I would say it's a light type of dark romance because I read darker things, but it was an amazing. It was an amazing introduction. That's why it's the top 10 of books that I loved last year. And speaking of not so light dark romance, let's go with the others that I like. It's a duet. You probably know about it. And it's Hunting and Haunting Adeline. There's a video of me talking about that book. Go watch it. Look, and I said it, I will say again, don't judge me because I've read that book. Because there are certain people that love to judge when you read books. And it's like, I didn't read a book just because of, the passion. It had a lot of, I don't know, I don't want to say I learned a lot of things. It had a lot of interesting psychological things in there. It was, and the writing was good, and I said it in my previous video, the video about this book, and I said it's not a conventional relationship, and I said it again, and one of the things that I paid attention and is stuck, it was the character's development, how it was so perfect and so well done. So it's like, leave your judgment aside and go try the book just because. But I know sometimes it's not judgment, it's traumatizing, but try it just a little bit just to see. I think you're gonna like it. Let's go. The next one, Twisted Lies. I have something with conventional relationships, like fake relationships. Let's fake it, then we make it. I have something with those things. Yeah, not in real life though, just in fiction. Sometimes, and if you know how to do it, you can do it really good. There's like no mistake. And this book is one of them, and I loved it. It was one of the first books that I read in January last year. So yeah, it stuck. That's why I was like, you're gonna come to the list. Next one, Kingdom of the Wicked. I'm sick. It's three books. We can, I don't know, you can see it in here. These three books. It was one of my first, I think, yeah, this one and the whole Twisted series. It was my first physical books that made to this shelf, and I loved it. It left good footprints in my brain. Yeah, again, it was well written. A little bit of cliche, but we love cliche. I love cliche. Cliche is something that, like, we complain about it, yes, but I'm always there. I love it. Um, the next one, Crowns of Nyaxia. It has the two books. It's the Serpent of something, of something, of something. I'm bad with names, so I'll probably put a picture of the books. It was really good. And again, it's again one of the books that I have the perfect sequel. It was well written. This and the plot. I think one of the movies movies. Oh my god, one of the books that I didn't know the plot, and when I saw it, I was like, I couldn't, I couldn't, I couldn't get here by myself, but you did good. Like I, it was a little bit twisted. The twisting was twisting, but it was like, it was good. I think when you read it, it will remind you a little bit of those cliche stories. Yes, but it doesn't matter because, like I said, the cliche sometimes is good. And this book, this duet, it's one of them. It was good. It was juicy if you love juicy stuffs. It was engaging. Um, I would say so, it was a book that it had a little bit of every single thing. So, and we love those type of things. So, yeah. Brandon Sanderson, The Man That You Are. It's like his books are so enormous that sometimes it gives you like the chill of like, do I have to read all of this? But then I start. I'm like, do I have to keep going? And I go a little bit. I'm like, okay, I can go a little bit more. When I see and when I feel I'm at the end of the book and I'm in the second book, I'm like, the heck? And then you jump to the other. I think I read the whole series in less than a month or a month and something. I read it really fast of how good it is. It's so good that I'm gonna read more of his books. Yes, and sometimes I don't do that with authors. Okay, okay, yeah, I do read their books, like more than one of their books, their series and whatever. But being interested in a whole saga, because what's the name of the other one that I want to read? Not now, but I want to read, is the Stormlight Archive. Yeah, I'm not gonna get too much into the Cosmere universe. I think that's how you say it. But I'm there. I'm there. Back up with me. I'm there. It's good. So I'm diving in slowly, but I'm going, and I don't know where I'll end up, but I'll end up somewhere doing something. His books and the Mistborn saga was so good that I was like, I read it on my tablet, but I want to buy the physical ones, just because now I'm like, I have to have this in my own room to be like, I read that book. I want to say like a bad word, but I don't know if you should. Anyways, a bonus is, it was one of the last books that I read in 2024, and the name is A Fate Inked in Blood. I also have the physical. Where is it? Oh, it's here. Ooh. It's in here, and it was really good. I'm waiting, expecting. I think the next one is gonna go gonna be released like this year, if I'm not wrong. I don't remember the month, but I think it's soon or not. But it was so good. It was so good, 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 so good. It's like the characters, the whole explanations, the plots. It got to a point. I think almost like at the end, I was like, okay, I know the plot, and then the end was like, "Pwah!" I'm like, okay, I didn't think about this, but you can go. If the author effed up the second book, I'm going to her house. I'm going to her house for us to have like a chit chat, because it's so promising. The ending was so promising. The whole story is so promising. The amount of juices, the amount of, okay, there's a word, I don't know an English version for that. It doesn't matter. But the amount of good things that you can take out of that orange, if she knows, she knows. And she's gonna do it. And I feel like she will. But sometimes you have to be open for disappointment. And I'm a little bit open for disappointment because, well, it's my life. It would be strange if disappointment wasn't part of it. Now, my top worst books. We have a problem. Like I said, I have a huge problem, huge issue when it comes to giving up a book. I don't do it that easily. It's not something that's like, okay, I'm not gonna read it. This year, I already did it like one, two, three, more than one to three times. Because now I was like, you have to catch me. Book have to be like, I want to be hungry. If the book is not making me feel hungry, I will still try to read it a little bit, but I don't feel like I will end it. I'm not gonna finish it because I'm not hungry. I'm like 20% of the book, almost 30% of the book. I'm still like, what we doing? I'm forcing myself to read it. And there are still books that I felt that one of them, because I don't want to talk too much about it, is The Legacy of the Nine Helms. I just read the first book and it was so bad. So bad. So bad that I read until the end. It was so bad. But the the writing was bad. The story was like bleh, bad, but it was good. If it makes sense. Sometimes you read the book is terrible, but it's like I can read a little bit, but it was just good enough for me to finish the first book, not the whole series, because no, the writing, the author need like to put more work into the writing and mapping the story and the potential of each characters, because it was more, I think the genre is like erotica. I think it was. It had too much. Oh my gosh. But I think it was part of the. Try it though. I might not be the only person that's like, this is bad, but I'm here. God. um, the last one of my top worst that I want to talk about is the Zodiac Academy. So I read the first two books. The thing is, what the heck was wrong? What's wrong with people that was like so invested in the story and wasn't like tired? Because I was so tired. It's literally like, oh, I'm gonna fall in love. Me and my sister, we're gonna fall in love with our bullies. Okay, one of the sister, because the other one will fall in love with another person. There's not like bullying her, but it was like her head. Um, I was like in the second book, and what those two authors, because it was two authors that wrote the book, the series. I think I heard that like each of the author wrote like a different POV. I don't know why, but regardless, those two women, um, it was like the book, the characters development would be like, okay, there it will go, and you go there, and it's like, let's go back. So like you read the first book, it's like, okay, we're going, and we get something. The second book, let's go back to the beginning, and then I was like, okay, let me see the premise of the third book. It's the same thing, and I heard like it would just stop this whole nonsense in the, I think, fifth, sixth book. I was like, no, you're not wasting my time to read, I don't know, like 20 books and then to be the same old story. And I was like, no. After the second book, I was like, no. Because the first book was like, okay, cool. The second book, I was like, but we're going to change. And I was like, I heard it like, no, the third book will be the same thing. I'm like, no, 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 no. This bullying thing, okay, you want to be with the person that bullied you? Yes, okay, be with that person. But there is a limit. There's a limit. And for me, it's not the story of like falling in love, getting married, be with someone that bullied you. It's about the characters the development that wasn't happening. So I was like, I'm not in this loophole. No, I'm not gonna be. And I put books like aside. I didn't buy the physical books, thank God, because I would be so pissed. I bought this one, Caraval. I just read the first book. The other two, I didn't. And I got so pissed. But I'm like, I will read it later. It might be like in 5 years. We don't know. But regardless. But I think this is like a summary of my 2024, me and my books, and you can see that there's some effects. Mom is not okay. Okay, I'm not crazy, but it was really good. It was really interesting. You can see for the list that I read different things. I had different experiences, and this year, my goal is to read like at least 50 books. If I will I read all of that? I don't know. But sometimes when it get to the end of the year, I get a boost to read books like crazy. But regardless, I need book suggestions. Um, from the list that I gave, I need like something that's like, okay, oh, she read that book and she liked it, so she probably gonna like this one. Because like since before in 2024, TikTok was the one giving me like suggestions, and now I do have like more than 100 books on my list to read, but still I need new things, I need fresh things. So if you can leave some comments, because I don't want to go back to TikTok, because if I go, I'm not gonna come back. That's how, because now I'm like on YouTube Shorts, and there I am. Social media, it's like it's a disease, it's a drug. Ooh, so I don't want to be on TikTok like for 3 hours just watching videos like crazy. Cool. So this is it for now, for today. Um, Please subscribe to my channel. I need people to talk with about my books. Um, just be crazy together. And now I promise. Okay, I'm not gonna promise to God, because no. Sometimes I might decide not to, just leave a little bit. But regardless, I'm back, and there's gonna be more videos, and I'll make a video like talk probably each of this book. It's not gonna be this long, but it's gonna be something. And so if you watch up to this minute, like what, this long, I appreciate it, and I hope. Don't eat too much sugar, and drink water. Stay healthy. Bye.